Hey, it's Sugar from Sound Candy Studio. Now, if you're looking for a 4-band EQ with high and low show cutoff and a compressor, then you're probably going to like what I've got to show you next. This is a really nice little plugin, and I hope you like it. See you in a moment. Welcome back. Right, so as we normally do, let's just jump straight into this and see what we're doing. Right, as I said at the beginning, we are talking about SoundSpot's Paradox. And you know, I'm a bit of a fan of SoundSpot simply because the products are really good and the pricing point that they've aimed these things at is excellent. It's an excellent price point. So enough about that. Let's just jump straight in. Now, I've got this SoundSpot plugin, and the plugin itself is being placed on my master my master bus, the output. Now, as I said on the beginning, this one, it's quite a nice little combination. So you have a, let's just go into it, let's jump into it straight away. You have an EQ section, and you have a what looks like a 6-band EQ, but essentially it's a 4-band EQ with a high and low cutoff. So it's one's on the 1 and the other one's on the 6. So that'll be high and this will be low. So let's just take a quick look around. So you have your curve filter here on the end, and we are going to go anywhere from 12 dB all the way to 48, and on the other end you have the same thing from 12 to 48 dB. You have these nodes, these are push nodes, so as you push them they slide around and they allow you to adjust the curve. So we have our normal sets. We have our frequency, have a gain, the curve, the balance, and the twist. That's a quick look at that. Incidentally, as I said, that this is a multi-effects, and what I mean by multi-effects in this instance, obviously we have our EQ, but we also have the compressor section. And the other nice little thing I like about this is you can change the order. So down here in the bottom right hand corner, there is an order button, so you can have either EQ first, then and then compressor, or compressor first and EQ. Personally, I like to do EQ then compress, but it's up to you entirely. And obviously you have your power button, which is your bypass button, and you have, for the EQ section alone, you have a set of templates that you can work from, and I like that. I like that a lot. The other thing I should have probably mentioned to you on here, if we jump over, we do this, is on the compressor side you have this threshold. Now, if you saw the video on the Firefly, it has the same transient designer at the top, so you can see by how much your signal's being compressed, and you can adjust the threshold to your taste. So let's jump straight over. So we're on the compressor section. You have obviously your normal stuff for your compressors. You've got your ratio, attack, release, you have your knee, you have your sidechain, and you have your makeup gain. So that's all kind of basic, and slightly below that you have your sidechain, so left, right and center. So this will be your sidechain, so it allows you to model the signal. So this particular part targets the type of sound that you're looking for and the area that you're looking for. So are you looking for where you're driving the bass simply down the middle and you don't want it to spread towards the sides, or you want the periphery of your sounds to come out and to blend? So that allows you to do that. And obviously at the bottom here you have the peak slider. So there's nothing in terms of innovative, there's nothing that's gonna trick you. And the other reason why I like these plugins is if you're new to recording and you're looking for some gear, and you go out and you look at these very expensive plugins, and they're very complicated, it might be that you find that the more basic the plugin, the more you get to understand what things do. Now, normally when I do these videos, I always say, you know, you should put some headphones on or get yourself some nice studio monitors, because it's important. Obviously YouTube is compressed, the sound and the videos are compressed, so it's kind of important to understand that some things, when you're doing a YouTube video, you may not hear them all the time. So I always recommend that people, where possible, go and have a look at these plugins. Go to the producers or the developers website and download it and have a listen for yourself. There's lots of YouTube videos that I've personally seen before I started making videos, and then the guy's like, yeah, and then you just add this, this and this, and I'm sitting there thinking, I can't hear a damn thing, But when you go and download the plugin and you make those changes for yourself, you can hear them because there's not that loss of compression that you get when you're watching YouTube videos. Okay, so enough of my talking. Let's go and see, well, let's go and hear what this sounds like. So I'm going to start on the EQ section so we can have a look at that. And just to compress this or compact this video down, I'm going to slightly run through some of the presets. Now, I would say I'm not a preset guy personally, but I do like the fact that if you're just looking for a quick sound, you jump in, you slide over, you select something, and it just sounds great. And you think, okay, yeah, that'll be a good starting point. It's not the point it's not often your destination, but it's a good starting point. And I like that for many plugins because you can jump in and hear what it does. Also, it gives you an opportunity to learn the plugin itself very, very quickly. So once again, get some headphones on or sit in front of your studio monitors. If you're listening to it on your laptop or your iPad or something like that, you might want to put some headphones on. Let's jump straight in. So this is just a quick track that I'm going to do. There's not much on it. There's just a bass and drums and some melody. There's not a huge amount, but we'll go and hear what it sounds like. So for now, I'm not going to tweak any of the individual nodes on the EQ, but I'm just simply going to cycle through some of the presets. And I think what's important with this particular plugin is that if we A/B it from let's go back to how this is bypassed. You can certainly hear that there's a huge difference if you've got your headphones on or if you're in front of a monitor. These plugins, used wisely, they will greatly enhance your music. And the other thing that I always say to people who are just getting into the music field is compression and EQ. They've got to be like in the top of your toolbox. It's the things that make a huge amount of difference. So if you don't have a compressor and you don't have an EQ, perhaps the Paradox is a great starting point because it gives you both. The other thing I always say as well is that sometimes when you're listening to a particular track and you're listening to the so this is a good example. It says snare focus, and the snare is not necessarily present in all of the tracks, and it's not something that you're trying to focus on. If I did this on a drum track, we probably would get a better sound. But it's good to, as I said, to just have an overall feel. This is what on this particular track, we're just trying to get an overall feel for what this thing does. You know, if you look at your plugin folder or your list of plugins that you have, not every plugin's going to be the best for that track. So it's good to go through. And as I said, I'm a great advocate for look, just get out there, get your plugins. Find the one that you want. I'm the kind of guy, when I first started making music, I would have a few plugins and I would shoehorn them into everything. Even if they weren't appropriate, I would just add them in there. I overdone it on the EQs, I overdone it on the highs, I overdone it on the lows. And effectively what would happen is you would, as you do when you're a bit of a rookie, you get your EQ, you slam the highs up really high, you slam the bass up really, and not realizing that someone else is going to do that as well. So you've got 5 levels of EQ, and then you send it out to iTunes, and then you get to the point where you realize, wow, the EQ is really, it sounds horrible. So now it's less is more. So what we're looking for often is subtle changes. We're not dramatically trying to overboost the high end or the low end or the mid section. We're just trying to make it subtle, so that when we A/B things and when we test things in your car and test it on your iPod, it really is a good idea. Try it in your car, try it in your iPod, try it in your laptop, try it in your home stereo. Don't over compensate for what you cannot hear in your studio. And you can hear, so if we use this push slider, listen to the bass, that's the 808, listen to that. So it's good. So what I was going to say with regards to the EQ, if we have this EQ section here, can you see that you have this slope, you have this curve? So you have the red outer ring, and then you have the white line on the inside. If you're wondering why these do not match, the way to get these to match is the balance. So if you go to the balance and you slide that up or down, the peaks will match each other. The other thing you can do is if you hold down the shift key, you have smaller increments. So even if you use this on a scroll or a mouse and you scroll up and down, you have smaller increments. The other thing that's worthwhile pointing out as well is if you double click with most of these things, the peaks reset. So if you make a lot of changes, you go here, you go here, and you go here, and you make a load of changes. If you just double click, each one of the frequencies will reset to where it should be. As I said, this is one of those plugins where I think you absolutely categorically have to hear it on your track and your music. I do lots of different types of music, and it's often because I'm new to the whole YouTube thing. I haven't targeted a specific set of audience, so I don't literally say this one's really great for house and garage, although I have done a video where I have said that, because I do make a lot of house and garage and R&B and neo soul. But this particular plugin, I think it will work great on everything. I really do. Currently, I believe the price is something like 20 odd pounds in the UK, which might be, say, $30 in the US. I think it's great value for money, and I definitely think it's something worthwhile listening to and taking a listen to. Personally, if I have lots of plugins and they have, say, 30 days, I think 30 days or 20 days is enough for you to play around with these tracks. So what I possibly would do if I have to give a suggestion is if you've got a load of tracks and you think, well, actually, yeah, that sounds okay. Maybe let's see how it sounds on mine. So I would have a few tracks that you think, actually, let's try this one on there. And at that point, then go and do your download, because at least you have a huge amount of time to play with it, and then you can decide for yourself. Right, that's it for this video. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on compressors. Now, if I can hear somebody groaning saying, why? You've already done enough. Not all compressors are equal. That's an absolute fact. So we have the high-end compressors that you're paying $300–400 for, and then you have the low-end compressors that you're paying $10–20 for. They're not all equal, but it depends on what you're doing. I wouldn't for a moment just say run out and buy a $300 EQ because it's the best in the market and it's probably going to do what I want. It's that kind of using a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. It's not necessary. Just decide what you're doing, the music that you're doing, decide the sound that you're trying to get to, and by often trying to decide what you're going to get to, it means you can just try a load of demos. I mean, there are very few manufacturers or developers that don't have demos. So I would definitely get out there and grab yourself a whole bunch of demos, play around with them, see what you like, see what you don't like, and make your choice from there, because it's all about the money at the end of the day. Right, if I've missed something, please feel free to leave in the comments. If I haven't explained it as well as I could have done, you can say that too. Please like, subscribe, and share, and do all the other good things. Until then, take care. See you later.